The Mendocino fire raging in California right now has become the largest in state history, shattering a record just set about 8 months ago. You can see the evacuation map right here. The red area is the mandatory evacuation area. It looks massive, but here's another way to put it all into perspective for you, right? Take a look at this map. You can see Columbus, largest city in Georgia by acreage, and Atlanta right there, right around that area. The combined acreage of these two cities is about maybe the same size as the California's 6th largest wildfire in history. To the Mendocino fire, there's no comparison at all. The fire is more than 50,000 acres bigger. Imagine the entire city of Atlanta and then some burning. Just keep that in mind as you watch these videos.
Wow, look at that. Unbelievable. That's like 100.
So 20 fires continue to burn right now across the state of California. They are driven by hot, dry conditions and years of drought. And they've already pushed tens of thousands of people from their homes. 15,000 firefighters are working to stop the flames from spreading, along with 200 active duty soldiers. There's really no end in sight for them right now. The Mendocino fire alone is expected to burn through the end of the month. We're at the beginning of August, so that's going to burn for the entire month. And tonight, the president getting into a Twitter war over these fires. Monday, he said the wildfires are made worse by California's environmental laws that are not allowing available water to be utilized. He also advised crews there to clear trees in order to stop the spread of the wildfires. CAL FIRE, the governmental department tracking and fighting these fires in California, as you can see here from their Twitter page, says that the president's claims are just simply wrong. The department fire chief there told reporters in California water supply is not an issue with fighting these fires. They can divert water from whatever sources are necessary, and that's exactly what they've been doing. We'll keep you updated on these devastating fires on 11alive.com and, of course, on all our social media pages.